Here we have the 4-hour price chart for NIO Incorporated, stock ticker NIO. Here we can see that we are seeing a bit of selling pressure here during the current session. However, it should be noted that the overall selling pressure here is quite minimal in comparison to what we're really seeing in other parts of the market. I suggest that people look at my other videos that were posted today, in particular on NVIDIA and Meta platforms, Facebook stock, because there have been some tremendous examples of extreme selling pressure that have been present in the market today. Tesla is another example. And I've posted all these videos today. I suggest that people take a look at those because the amount of downside selling pressure that has been present in the market today has been sizable. We're seeing downward price declines in the S&P 500 and in the Nasdaq. So the broader indices here are also falling victim to this downside selling pressure, which has been quite extreme. But overall, if we look at the NIO price chart, these same types of events have not really been seen here. What we're seeing here is a much more subdued. We are seeing negative price movements here, but we're talking about pennies essentially. We saw prior highs here posting at $4.80, and then the low for the current trading period comes in at $4.64. Essentially, we're trading, sideways at best here. I mean, this really can't be considered to be much of a decline. And this is even coming in the face of, much more severe selling pressure that's been seen in the market as a whole. So, what this does tell us, there are some indications here that are important. In particular, what I've been pointing to with these NEO videos is the fact that we're trading at such low levels at this point that there really isn't much more room to extend to the downside. This does represent some interesting buying opportunities for people that are not currently along the stock. This is something that you really need to think about because even during days where we're seeing large amounts of selling pressure throughout the broader market, we're really not seeing the same thing unfold in NEO. I mean, this is a very small, it's negative. There is some negative trading volume here as well, as we can see, and these are red candles. I mean, we have to acknowledge that. But overall, um, the amount of downside that we've seen here has been relatively small. I mean, extremely small. Really not much at all. So what this does point to, is a sort of a confirmation, of this broader thesis that, there really isn't much more room here that we can extend to the downside. Currently, the price levels that I've been watching with this stock come in at roughly 415. We're seeing price lows from the June 28 trading session, which came in at 414. So we have this level as a potential support zone, and then this is really followed by the 360 level that posted during the April 22nd trading session. So overall, from here we're currently trading at 463, as we can see. So from here, you've really got two strong levels of support to the downside that are really kind of protecting prices from significant movements lower. And as you can see here, we're not even testing those levels today. And this is a fairly significant day of downside selling pressure. I mean, if you want to compare this to, what's going on with Tesla stock, I suggest that you look at my other video that I just posted on this because the declines have been extreme. You're not seeing the same type of thing here in NEO. And I do think that this kind of solidifies this broader term outlook here, which suggests that we really have formed a bottom here. Like, I really just don't see much of an argument here to suggest that share prices can head much lower. Even when there's a huge amount of they in the market, people say a rising tide lifts all boats. So that generally means that if it's a strong day in the market, most of the stocks in the market also move higher. But the same is true for the downside. I mean, if the stock market is under major trading pressure, just like if you're in the ocean and the water level is falling, all boats tend to fall along with that ocean level. So the same thing should be happening here, and it's really not. So I think that traders should be kind of taking this to heart here, because if we're looking at the broader averages, I mean, just look at the just watch the Tesla video that I just posted. It's a major move lower. It's a significant reversal from the highs. You wouldn't even be able to see a move like that in a stock like NIO. There's just not room here to the downside to suggest that something like that, would be likely or possible. So, overall here, we do need to take all of this into consideration. I mean, it's a very important trading day for this stock because it has been able to weather the storm, and maintain its price levels, even with all of this negative, bearish activity being present in the market. As we can see here, the overall momentum reading in the relative strength index, this is a 4-hour chart. So overall, the momentum here is pointed in the positive direction. We haven't seen any major reversals here. We're not seeing, the relative strength index fall through this trend line. So overall, we have to say that this stock has been able to hold up very well. So the question would really become, if we were going to see a major decline here, where would it come from? When would it occur? What would have to happen in the market in order for us to see a true break through these support levels? We're not even testing these levels at the moment. I mean, what type of price decline would we really need to see? The reality is that we're not likely to see major changes in interest rates from the Federal Reserve that are in the positive direction. I mean, we're not likely to see rate increases anytime soon. The only market activity that's likely to be expected here would be a rate decrease, and that would be a positive for stock markets. So, overall, there really just isn't a framework here in place for there to be a major broader market sell-off that could drag down the price of NIO shares. So, the downside here is relatively well defined. And if we do start to flatline at these levels, it would suggest that this prior downtrend has completed itself. It's no longer active. And this means that, the selling pressure that was directed at this stock previously has been removed from the market. It's not here anymore. So if we do start to see people entering into these positions, positive bullish positions near current levels, then this is when we would expect to start seeing this upside reversal that's expected. Currently we're looking at sort of a wave structure here. We've got a lower high at 360, and then a bit of a higher high here at roughly 415. So what we really need to see here is first a break of this prior downtrend line and a break of this moving average cluster. This would then force a retest of support that's roughly just above $6 per share. And then if we're able to break through there, then we have our sequence of higher highs that would be expected with this ultimate reversal higher, which we do still fully expect for this stock. So here's the current market analysis for NIO Incorporated, stock ticker NIO.